Guys, I have a project share for you, but first I thought I'd show you my messy desk after I finished crafting. Yes, I'm a messy crafter, but I've been working on several different projects for CraftyIrina's 500 Subbie giveaway challenge. And I thought, wouldn't it be nice to show what the reality is of your crafting mess? I can't even craft on my regular craft desk because it's so full of stuff that I haven't put away because I've either purchased it or gotten it in a rack or something like that. But anyway, it's a mess, and this is my messy desk, which I'm forced to clean up here because I have to use my desk area also for work when I work from home. So this is what it looks like right now, but it'll get cleaned up, and I'll show you these projects momentarily. First I want to show you this thing. This is a vise. And my husband got it for me for Christmas as a gift. Why? Well, because this vise actually holds the dominoes down for me when I want to put a hole in them, either sideways or in flat or whatever. But it's a vise that he got for me from Harbor Freight, and it just screws down to your desk. So it's a clamp, and I can just take it off and put it away when I'm not using it, so it's not out here permanently. And it actually spins around. It tilts. And so there's two heads on it, and it actually swivels from side to side. So it's a great little tool to have, I guess, if you'd like to alter the dominoes and put the holes in them. So that's what that is. And then I use one of these things, which Fiskars came out with a screw, a drill, I guess a hand drill. And he asked me, why don't you want to use just the electric drill? And I thought, well, it's a lot more fun to use something like this. And he actually had one of these. This is, I guess you could call it a vintage tool because you don't really see these used very often. But I can change the drill bit on here, and it just takes regular drill bits. But that's what I use to drill the holes into my dominoes. And I'm looking for one to show you. Here's one right here, and you can see the little tiny hole that it put in here. So I can put them in the side. I can put it in the vise this way and put it through the front. I can put it in this side, which is really hard to do if you don't have something to hold it. So that's what this thing does, is it will hold it in place like this, and it locks down and everything so that it's held tightly, and you can use both hands to do the drilling of the hole. Anyway, just wanted to show you that before I shared my projects with you. So one moment and I'll get set up for that. So as you can see, I have a card here. CraftyIrina, her 500 Subbie challenge giveaway, has you creating several different projects. So I'll show you each of those. You had to do an altered bag card, an altered domino, an altered cork, an altered tile, and an altered ticket. You'll need to do one ticket. And so I did each of those projects, and I'll show you what I've made. First of all, everything is done in the Graphic 45 Once Upon a Springtime collection. And this is an older collection for those of you who are not aware. And I used the sheet for Woodland Fantasy and one other sheet as well for this entire project. And I just wanted to try and use up the scraps that I have instead of cutting into all the different pages. So first off, this is the paper bag card. And the card had to start with a paper bag that was no smaller than 5 by 10. Oh, no, that's not right. 5 inches by 10 inches tall. So when you fold the bag in half, the card is a specific size. It's 5 by 5, really. It ends up being. So this is my card, and as I said, this is the Once Upon a Springtime, and I've used some Wild Orchid Crafts flowers to create some sprays here, and there's some leaves also tucked in there. And I used some stickles, and I'd gotten these stickles from Beulah, who is Scrappin' Gigi here on YouTube. Thanks, Beulah. Used your products again. And I also have used some butterflies here. These I ordered from Butterbee Scraps. And these little words here that say embrace and enjoy life, they come from a Tim Holtz sticker pack. It's all words, and you get the craft and the white stickers, so you can make little phrases up. So this is one of the images that's in the piece of paper that I used, and I believe the background is actually the reverse of this side of the paper. And then I have 3 little bling stickers or dots right here. So that's the front of the card. I've also papered the back side, which is just a, you know, the same pattern. I used some seam binding here, and I think I got this seam binding from Kimbo Creations. Thanks, Kim. I think that's who gave it to me, because she gave me a whole package of different things for one of the little goodies that she included in one of her challenge entries for one of my challenges. So on the inside I did paper both sides, and this is a pocket here. I'm going to write a note to Irene on the back of this little card here so that she can reuse this. She can use this card if she would like to give it to somebody, and that way my message won't be written actually on the card. And as I said, this is this is a pocket, excuse me. And I've used this paper because this is one of the scraps that I had, and you'll see the same image somewhere else. So this is the inside of the card, and that is my paper bag card. Okay, so the other thing we had to create was an altered ticket. And so my ticket is actually, and I'm going to try and get the glare off here. My ticket is created using the Tim Holtz Movers and Shapers ticket die. So if you look at here, the die is, there's 2 sizes. This is the larger size, and when it cuts, it actually cuts this impression into the paper. So I cut 2 pieces, one for the back and one for the front, and I reversed the inside and outside pieces that it cuts. So that's the size of the ticket. And as you can see, I again used the Once Upon a Springtime paper from Graphic 45, some seam binding here. This is actually the last of the seam binding that I had. Some more of that bling, another image from the paper line. And then this ticket actually says Imagine and Inspire. And then I made a dangle to hang from it by putting together, I think this is an Art Cake charm, and the charm itself used to have clear beads in it, and I colored the beads with my Copic marker to give it a pink hue that matches the paper line. And then this little velveteen flower here is just dangling from the butterfly. So that's my altered ticket. I'll just put that to the side. And the last 3 projects you had to do were the cork, the tile, and the altered domino. And what I decided to do, and I'll have to tilt the camera a little bit, what I decided to do was make it into a charm. So you can see my messy desk, sorry guys about that. And the charm is held by this huge clamp that I have. And this lobster clasp, I think I got it off of an Art Cake necklace or chain piece, and all I did was start putting all of my stuff together here. So let me go through each item so you can see it. Here is the cork, and I did not paint the cork at all. I used some seam binding to go around it, and then I cut out one of the little die cuts that says Once Upon a Springtime and stuck that down on top of that. And then I put some Wild Orchid Crafts flowers up in here, and down here at the edge of each of the sides of the banner I put a metal embellishment at the top, and I actually had to color this with my Viva Decor, what is it called? It's the rub that you can get in a pot. And then I put a bead on top of that, and I sunk one of those Tim Holtz pins into the cork, and it's actually glued down in there, so it shouldn't come out. And it's not that heavy. So that is my altered cork. And then on the charm, I also have some additional, there's different little baubles on here. This is from an Art of Cake as well, from some chain. This is an Art of Cake chain, I believe. And here is my altar tile. You can see that it's made from a Scrabble tile. So I left this side bare so that you could see the eye, because that's for Irina. Or Irene, sorry. And here is the little image that I thought was really sweet to use from the paper line. And I just glued that down. And the sides I actually used embossing powder. I don't know how well you can see that. Let me see if I can focus better. This is some embossing powder from, I don't have it on my desk anymore, Stampendous. And it's the pastel pink, gold, and white. So it's like a shabby mixture of embossing powder. And you can see the flecks of the gold, and there's pink and white in there. And I just did that all the way around the edges of the domino, or I'm sorry, the tile. And then I used a little scrap of the seam binding here, glued that onto the front of the tile. And then this is a little tiny heart that they have in the Michaels $2 bins now. And it's gold, so it matches the color of the chain and everything. So all of the metals are actually like a antique gold, as you can see on this butterfly. So that's the altar tile. You can't really do too much with these because they're so tiny. And then moving down is the domino, and I'm gonna see if I can get, there we go. See if I can focus down on that. It's not very clear. I'm going to have to lift that up so you can see it. Okay, so here is the image of, it's kind of like a queen fairy, I think, on the domino. And these dominoes are rather thick. I used some stickles. This is distress stickles in the shabby shutters. So it's like a green, light green color. And just went around the edges with that. I actually used the dry stickles first. And then I went over the white spots with the regular stickles, regular distress stickles. And I took the image and glued that down and went over it with the Wink Stella Clear glitter pen. The hole, of course, I created with that little manual drill. I put some seam binding through the hole. Now, for those of you who are wondering how did I get the seam binding through that tiny hole, I used one of those things that you use to thread a needle. I don't know what that thing is called, but that's how I got that seam binding through there. And then there's a big jump ring here. And then also attached to the same charm is this little dangle here, and it's got some leaves and some bling chain on it, and this little purple piece at the top. So I thought that matched really well. And then at the bottom I'll sign it on the back of the domino. So the front and the back are both covered. I didn't Mod Podge these because I like the look of the matte colored paper here, or the matte paper, better than when you put the Mod Podge down. You can see the brush strokes a lot of times. So I didn't actually bother to put Mod Podge over it. I'm sorry, my lighting is really bad here, and it doesn't want to stay in its place. So, let me just see if I can get the whole charm in one shot. And there we go. So it kind of is a cohesive collection of little tiny embellishments, and I hope you like it, Irene. And congratulations on your 500 subbies. I really enjoyed making all these projects for you, and I'm sure you will have many more subbies after this challenge giveaway. And thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.